Here is the NFL Iceberg. Max McGee. Max McGee was an American wide receiver who played for the Green Bay Packers from 1954 to 1967. He is most famous for being the first receiver to catch a touchdown pass in the Super Bowl, catching a pass from quarterback Bart Starr to secure a 7-0 lead to start the game. In what was simply referred to at the time as the first ever World Championship game, the Green Bay Packers battled it out against the Kansas City Chiefs. McGee had a career game, and his 7 catches for 138 yards and 2 touchdowns helped lead the Packers to a 35-10 blowout. What most people don't know about Max McGee is that he was severely hungover during the entirety of the game. You see, McGee had a long career with the Packers, and in his final season, his productivity had declined, far enough to the point where he was no longer starting for Green Bay, as he did not expect to even play in the Super Bowl. So, he took the opportunity to party the night before the game. According to accounts from people on the team, McGee snuck out of the team hotel after their 11 p.m. bed check. He would meet up with 2 flight attendants that he had met earlier for drinks. Okay, Max, I see you. He was constantly calling his best friend on the team, Paul Hornung, who claimed that McGee called him throughout the night asking him to come down and have a drink with him and the girls. The last Hornung had heard from him was when McGee called him from the hotel lobby at 6:30 in the morning. Before games, McGee would usually meet up early with the starting wide receiver, Dale Dowler, to discuss the game plan. In this meeting, McGee pleaded with Dowler to not get injured, stating that he had way more to drink than he probably should have. And almost as fate would have it, Dowler would go down and McGee was forced to play. And yet, he put up one of the best statistical performances of his entire career, and even gets to be known forever as the guy who caught the first touchdown pass in the Super Bowl. That's crazy. Super Bowl wardrobe malfunction. This is of course in reference to the Super Bowl 38 halftime show. On February 1st, 2004, Janet Jackson was set to perform the Super Bowl halftime show along with Justin Timberlake. During the show, there appeared to be a wardrobe malfunction near the end of the performance in which Justin Timberlake accidentally removed a part of Janet Jackson's top, exposing her to millions of viewers. They honestly played off pretty decently well, just continuing on with the performance as it was originally intended.
My disappointment is immeasurable, and my day is ruined.
The Bobby Layne curse. Bobby Layne was an NFL quarterback that played from 1948 to 1962. While he played for a number of teams, he was most prominently known for playing for the Detroit Lions from 1950 to 1958. In this time period, he would win 3 NFL championships for the Lions, and he was a 6-time Pro Bowler. However, in 1958, the Lions decided to go a different route and trade Bobby Layne to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Layne was so distraught with this news, and some reports stated that he had actually cursed the Lions out to his former teammates, stating that they would not win for another 50 years. Now, that part of the story has been debunked as not actually happening, but some fans like to think a curse on the Lions did take place. After Layne was traded, the Lions would only make the playoffs once in the next 25 years. A once dominant NFL franchise turned into the league's laughingstock. They would also suffer non-stop quarterback controversies and wouldn't find themselves a long-time starter for quite a while. Even to this day, people believe the curse still persists, as the Lions hold the longest drought of no playoff wins in 31 years. So, yeah, it's possible that the Bobby Layne curse is real. The Loveboat. The Loveboat is a scandal involving the Minnesota Vikings. On October 6, 2005, an alleged sex party occurred on Lake Minnetonka with 17 members of the Minnesota Vikings football team. 2 houseboats were rented, and prostitutes from Atlanta and Florida were flown in for the party. Around 90 people combined were there on these houseboats, with most of them being women. Allegedly, a lot of depravity and degeneracy took place on these houseboats, if you catch my drift. This party would even lead to 4 of the players being charged with misdemeanors related to the events. Some point to this being the very key factor to the firing of head coach Mike Tice, who was later replaced by Brad Childress. Childress would lead the team to the 2009 NFC Championship game, so I guess it all worked out. Well, not for Mike Tice, I guess. Jerry Jones' 1957 photo. This is in reference to a photo that resurfaced from 1957 of a young Jerry Jones, the current owner of the Dallas Cowboys. The photo in question depicts a young Jerry Jones along with many white students blocking a pathway for a group of black students from walking through the cafeteria. The photo comes from North Little Rock High School in Arkansas and was taken in the midst of a group of white students protesting against the end to segregation in the high school. Many point to this photo as proof of Jerry Jones being a long-standing racist. He has, of course, denounced this photo and his views that he's held in the past, saying that he has learned and changed a lot from 60 years ago, and that he can only try to do better moving forward. Still, it is very shocking to see a photo of Jerry Jones quite literally being on the wrong side of history. Carson Wentz is Prince Harry. Carson Wentz is an NFL quarterback who still currently plays today. While he's not playing football, he serves with the British royal family as King Charles's son under the alias of Prince Harry, Duke of Sussex. No, but seriously, all jokes aside, this pretty much is just a meme in the NFL community, joking about how similarly Carson Wentz looks to Prince Harry. But ask yourself this, have you ever seen the two of them together in the same room before? Russ threw Super Bowl 49. Okay, so hold on tight because there's going to be a lot to explain here. On February 1st, 2015, the Seattle Seahawks and the New England Patriots squared off in Super Bowl 49. It was a very entertaining back and forth game. At one point in the game, the Patriots came back from a 24-14 deficit to take a 28-24 lead with 2 minutes and 2 seconds left to go in the game. The Seahawks would get the ball back and immediately mount a drive, looking to take the lead back. Led by Seahawks quarterback Russell Wilson and running back Marshawn Lynch, the Seahawks would drive the ball all the way to the Patriots' 1-yard line. After getting to the 1-yard line, the belief was that Seattle would hand the ball off to Lynch for him to punch it in and win the game. Most of the Seahawks offense in that game was thanks to Marshawn Lynch, and it had only made sense to use him in this short yardage situation. To the surprise of everyone, Seattle would throw the ball instead, leading to a Patriots interception in the end zone, sealing the game for the Patriots.
At 5. Pass is intercepted at the goal line by Malcolm Butler. Unreal.
And I'm sorry, but I can't believe the call.
Me neither.
I cannot believe the call. You've got Marshawn Lynch in the backfield. You've got a guy that's been borderline unstoppable in this part of the field. I can't believe the call.
The call to pass in that situation instead of running the ball has been considered one of the worst calls in NFL history. And of course, this has led to many fans speculating as to why the call was made. There are some fans who think that Russell Wilson wanted to throw the ball indefinitely in order to be able to throw the game-winning touchdown pass and possibly win MVP honors for the game. Honors that would have no doubt went to Marshawn Lynch had they won the game. Some people think Wilson was jealous of Lynch and wanted to cement himself in NFL greatness by locking up a Super Bowl MVP to his name. You see, the Seahawks had actually won the Super Bowl from the season prior, and Wilson had not won MVP for that game either. So people theorized that Wilson was less interested in winning another Super Bowl, more so than he was earning a Super Bowl MVP. So he made sure that the play was a pass as opposed to a run for Lynch. And it would end in a Seahawks loss.
Like 1 yard. You need 1 yard. Run the ball. Run the ball. Run the ball.
I don't think there's any credibility to this theory, to be honest, but it is still infamously one of the worst calls in NFL history, and we'll probably never know for sure why the Seahawks chose to throw instead of run. It is crazy to think, though, that the Seahawks were quite literally 1 yard away, one play away from becoming an NFL dynasty.